Oil and gas extraction is booming, but don't let the pressure to produce make you forget about safety. We'll look at the 7 hazards of oil and gas extraction in a moment. Hi, I'm Dan Clark with the Safety Brief. We take on health and safety hazards in today's demanding industrial and construction worksites, a service of Creative Safety Supply. Injury and fatality rates are high in the oil and gas extraction industry. It's inherently dangerous work made even more risky by go fever, the rush to crank out the product. These operations rely on skilled drivers and roughnecks to work long hours in all kinds of weather. They're highly hazardous places often far from emergency services, so extra caution is needed. 7 hazards of oil and gas extraction include 1. Motor vehicle accidents. They're the most common cause of worker fatalities in the industry, 4 of every 10 deaths according to OSHA. Workers quite often have to travel by vehicle to wells in remote areas. Long trips put employees at risk. Prevention: plan ahead in case of bad weather and employee fatigue. I wish I didn't have to say this, but I do. Wear the seatbelt. 2. Struck by, caught in, caught between hazards. 3 of 5 on-site deaths in oil and gas extraction are due to struck by, caught in, caught between hazards. They include moving vehicles or equipment, falling objects, and high-pressure lines. Prevention: wear PPE, hard hats, eye protection, and the right shoes. Barricades to guard workers should be employed when possible. Signs warning of hazards should be posted. Inspect machinery on a regular schedule, and employees operating or near equipment must be trained on hazards. 3. Fires and explosions. Flammable vapors can come from tanks, production equipment, trucks, and wells. Prevention: identify all possible ignition sources. Use extra caution when doing hot work. Use a gas monitor that can detect the flammables. 4. Respiratory hazards. Silica dust is bad news, often produced when processes use sand. Gases such as hydrogen sulfide and diesel exhaust can lead to loss of consciousness or even death. Volatile hydrocarbons, too. They pop up when workers perform flowback operations, which is when tanks are cracked open to check fluid levels. Prevention: use a gas monitor. Take precautions if people work alone or send an extra person to observe. Follow the rule book when working in confined spaces. For all of these, respirators and ventilation may be necessary. 5. Falls. Often equipment and drilling platforms are very high off the ground. Prevention: use personal fall arrest systems and fall prevention systems. 6. Noise. Machinery can cause high noise levels. Prevention: monitor levels with a noise dosimeter. Use hearing protection as needed. 7. Extreme temperatures. Some regions bake, some freeze. Prevention: have procedures for resting and getting fluids during heat. Have clothing and PPE guidelines for cold. NIOSH, the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, will be conducting research about health and safety in oil and gas extraction in 2016. They'll survey 500 workers on protective gear, safety policies, and hours worked. Truck drivers will be polled about pay, whether it's by the load or the hour, and if they're pushed to drive during poor weather. OSHA plans to increase enforcement at drilling sites in response to the high fatality and injury rates. That's all for this episode, 7 Hazards of Oil and Gas Extraction. Join me again for more ways to stay safety compliant in today's always changing landscape of safety requirements. I'm Dan Clark of The Safety Brief, a service of Creative Safety Supply. Save 10% off your entire order at creativesafetysupply.com with coupon code BIG10.